my boy. Hi, boy. Foggy day on the 95, which means we're headed down to the Homestead. There's a lot of license plates from New York traveling south this trip. I'm guessing that they don't like the warmth of collectivism up there so much. Heading down to the Homestead. If everything goes well, should be a pretty productive time. This weekend's going to be a big weekend. I'll be laying down some electrical conduit, finally into the electrical part. In the garage anyway. And then doing some basic chopping of firewood, setting it aside, doing minimal land clearing that a single human being can do without, you know, hydraulics and large land clearing equipment. The tractor is in the shop getting the seal repaired. I'm assuming that's not going to be on site this weekend. But the big thing is the garage, so laying down some electrical conduit, that's the major thing. And then the cement for the garage should be poured probably after I leave, in a week or two after. And I'll catch up with everything else as we're there. So anyway, hope everybody is doing well and had a nice and happy holiday. 2026 is on. The markets are mixed, and politics is the same as it's always been, with a disloyal opposition party, of course. So anyway, we will continue on our way on this foggy day. Hang loose. We'll see you later. Oh, by the way, that little speaker right there, I hooked up finally an external speaker to the CB. Sort of a not legal CB, but worked really well. You can hear a lot better. A lot of power comes out of that little thing. I might have to do a review on that. Anyway, everybody take care. We'll catch you when we get down there. Bubba can't wait. So here we are out at the property today. Got some coffee from the little bit of a breakfast sandwich type of thing from the local truck stop, which is not too far from the homestead here. And I wanted to get this before all the fog blew away, but it should have got it earlier, but now it's starting to break through. Sun comes up on the pretty much right, almost, at least at this time of year, almost right here on the corner of the house, right around there, right around where the chimney is. There's going to be windows, nothing but windows up, by the way, up there, so it'll come in pretty blaringly. And then wall windows on the back side here where the porch is, so a person can sit there in the morning, drink their cup of coffee, have a light cigar, and watch God's creation rise. I mean, that's, oi, that's pretty impressive, I have to say. Bubba is going nuts, of course. What else does he do when he comes out here? And it's like, okay, this is my place now. Thanks a lot. As far as I can tell, the electrical is in. I mean, I'm hearing things ruminate and tick, and you know, this wasn't here before last time, you remember, and that baby's there, so you know, I think everything is good to go on that scale. This is exactly what was needed, by the way, for the construction to start building. Got 2 outlets there. So, Bubba, come on. He's, you know, definitely thinks it's his place. Now the house, it kind of faces more easty, but where we're at, the sun stays pretty low on the horizon this time of year, so for obvious reasons, science reasons. So front of the house is here, and that's not bad because we got windows really lathered on this side over here where the fireplace will be up a story. It's going to be a big open great room, you'll see. And then the back porch where there's windows all along the back here. There might be a couple in the bedroom as well, I can't remember, but and then a big windows up on the second story where it can let sun come in all day long, sort of natural light beaming in directly across the house. So so that's that part. And then I've got some work to do here. I got cement work to do, which I didn't expect that I'd have to do, but I'm gonna have to do it. So I was looking at the specs for the 2-post lift, and the pad that they put out here is just, it's way too freaking small. So I'm gonna be digging out. You can see my tape measure sitting there. It's supposed to be about 150 inches wide, and obviously that is not. And the pad is supposed to cover the entire car, so you can move the post sort of front and back a little bit depending on where you want it to be. But that's what I've got to do today. Probably first thing I do before I do any wood stuff is do this. So that's done. The laying of the schedule 40, which I hope happens today, that I'll do. This is just a run. I'm assuming there's a door that's going to be right here, and then right as soon as you get into the door here, there's going to be the 200 amp panel is going in here. So I want to put schedule 40 electrical PVC to the other side, because from the panel, wiring outlets and a first bank of lights in this place is going to be easy on that side. But on this side, I want it to look clean, so I'm not having to run up and around, you know, and down. Much more wire. So I want to run it to the corner, up. I want to run, I think, at least 2 strands of THHN. So 6 wires or a little more all together. 1 for the outlets on this side of the bank, and then 1 which will go up and hit the light bank on this side. So I'll have 2 banks of lights, and then in the center, the plan is probably 3 fans, because the mezzanine is going here. Come here. Come here, Bubba. So if the mezzanine is going in this general area here, and then it's going to cut across here, and we're going to have stairs coming up probably right around in here. But underneath all of this, this is going to be a really tiny office apartment with a kitchenette, and then the bathroom. I think that's the sink drain, and that's going to be the toilet shower drain right there. So I think that's how that's going to go, and then that'll be it, I think. I mean, it feels like they're missing one thing, but whatever. And there's one there. So yeah, I think that's, I'll have to ask him. But anyway, I didn't see that little baby there, but there we got another one. That's cold water. So that's the water that's going to run in from the pump. I didn't realize he did that. Matter of fact, I never saw that until just now. So I was here yesterday, I didn't see the cold water line was in here. Well, that's just a sweet little, that's sweet. Thank you so much. All right, to work we go. The sun is rising over our oak trees. There's lots to do today, so I'm gonna have to get to it. All right, hang loose. Well, that electric is humming and ready to go. It's all been hooked up. Next time I come camping out here, at least I'll have access to electrical, which could be a good thing. No water yet, of course. Well's gonna be a while to get here, and I've spent probably most of the morning and part of the afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock now, a little after 3 maybe, and I've just been sitting here taking it easy. Took a break, had a Yingling, and 3 of the neighbors dropped by, and that's been most of my afternoon. I started chopping firewood today around 9 o'clock, and making piles. That's an old pile there, but I started going back into that area, and then I switched and started going back into that area, and there's a pile just right there. This is all wood that I'm going to put into a shed at some point, a wood shed. And then my tree over there, if you can see my Carolina pine, where I've got that I guess a marker stick there, looks sort of white pinkish, is still living, and I've watered it. And I might, tomorrow's a Saturday, contractor will be here tomorrow, I hope. He had some trouble with a trailer, and who doesn't, but he would have been here today, and so that's done. Tomorrow he'll be here, and so tomorrow I might start my trail that way, and then I'll move this way to start clearing it up. The big problem here, it's not like in the Pacific Northwest where I grew up, where it's really sort of a temperate rainforest, or the desert. Depends on what side of Oregon you're on. But the vines in this section right here really slowed me down, and it's less viney over here, but there's a lot more big timber that's down over here. So I might be able to cut a path and then cut a swath up to where I started today, a little bit anyway, at least get started on it. I have shit ton of widowmakers around here hanging around. You can see them hanging from trees, and those will have to be taken down, probably by tractor. I may fell some of them, but I don't know yet. We'll see what I get into tomorrow. The contractor and I have some things to go into tomorrow that I've had questions for a while, and I can't forget to ask them this time. But and then of course he's got behind me is the orchard, so that's got to be cleared, and he's bringing, I think he's going to be bringing one of his excavators here, so we can, or a skid steer, something like that, so we can start, or he can start while I'm gone, clearing the orchard once and for all. So when I come back next, should be in February, weather permitting. By the way, right now it's a beautiful day. It's been sunny all day and 80 degrees. You saw in the time lapse, I time lapsed it, hopefully it turned out. The cement guys had my pad for my 2-post lift too small, and I checked the specifications on the lift that I'm going to buy, and I dug all this out today. So that was the first thing really I did this morning. And I still have some Schedule 40 PVC electrical to run here. This is just, I didn't dig the trench yet because I need to talk to the contractor, and the reason for that is, of course, because I want electricity cleanly to get to the other side of the garage without having to go up and over, you know, and whatnot. But I'm going to drag, it's going to be probably about 50 feet, a couple of lines of THHN, 50 feet, so I can have my outlets on this side, and then of course my banked lights on this side. So I'll have 2 lights, 2 banks, 2 switches, and that's that. The plumbing needs to be inspected. I think that's coming next week. And this is the plumbing for the bathroom. This will be a small living area, which will be temporarily, which will be converted into an office. For what, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to do. We may actually keep canning material in here, because this little small area here will be, it'll have air conditioning in it to keep everything cool and dark. And that is that. When I come back in February, I'm usually a once a month thing. This whole area here should be completely done, cemented, and then they can start wrapping the garage. Remember, it's 40 by 55, 40 wide by 55 deep, and it'll be plenty of room for me to do anything. And once we build the small mezzanine up there, it'll give us even more room to store stuff. The last thing is that I told the contractor that this floor here is too low. I think that it all needs to be built up like 4 more inches at the very least to bring it up a little bit, because I do not want it at ground level. I don't want any possibility, or I want less of a possibility of rain precipitation to seep into the garage area. So I want this area here to be built up so it sits a little higher than the surrounding area. And that's, you know, that's pretty much it. With the electrical in now, it means the framing of the house can get started. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then at that point, we're going to be, there'll be one more draw. And when that draw is taken, then we have to sell our house in order to finish this right here. And we'll only need, there's only like two and a quarter more draws on the house, and it'll be completely done after the next one. But everything's paid up to the framing, and so, you know, things could move pretty quick here in 2026. When I come out, like I said, I'll be camping. Hopefully by then there's a burn ban on now, and all this wood that's pushed up here to the sides, one over there, that one right there where the orchard's going, it's going to be pulled into some area, and we're just going to burn it. It's the best way to get everything out and then cleaned up, so I can start making paths like I'm doing here, small, without my tractor, which is not going to be here for a while because it's in the shop to get the seals replaced on the rear end. Then I can go back. But the one thing I will have them do is cut me a path straight back to the back of the property. There's a road back there, and one of the neighbors came by today. I've had 3 neighbors come by today. They're all awesome, but one of my neighbors that I met has property back there. He's got like 19 acres, and my property butts up against it, and so I want to be able to get back to that part of my property so I can, you know, whenever I get around to it, start clearing, cutting out all the dead wood, firewood and whatnot. That'll be a good source for the home in the future, because we got a lot of downed wood from hurricanes and tornadoes that in the past that have come through here. So that's it. That's the status of things. Tomorrow, hopefully, we will be I'll get some questions answered, and I can sort of fill in some details on some things. But right now, it's about quitting time for me. We always do, Bubba and I always on the... Speaking of Bubba, he's tired too. Aren't you, boy? My little schmooby. He's like, are we going to go yet? Because I've been running around all day long, and he has. We always go and grab. It's funny. I live in what is basically a city, and all of the pizza joints in it suck. I come out to the country, and probably the best restaurant here is a pizza joint, and it's really, really good. So we always treat ourselves to that. And Bubba, who sitting here looking at me, Schmooby, Bubba boy, yeah, he loves it. I give him a slice, and he goes to town on it. So I'll be out here early in the morning, probably going to be foggy like it was, and going to do some firewood harvesting, wait for the contractor, and then be on the road back to North Carolina tomorrow. So anyway, not to be boring, but that's sort of the status for those who've been following this. And thanks a lot for those who have. I appreciate it. But it's going to be camping season, I think, from here on out. So, have a puff on me, and hang loose.
Fucking A. Fucking A.